December 12, 2017 at 6:01 p.m. by KC. Colwell Photography by Kid GP Photography and the manufacturer. Okay, so the inside scoop part of the headline couldn't be more literal. All we're allowed to talk about regarding the next Mercedes-Benz G-Class at this point is its interior. The current G550, G63, and G65 are heavily tweaked versions of a vehicle that can trace its lineage all the way back to 1979, and the initial military version, which means the 2019 model, which will make its debut at the 2018 Detroit Auto Show, marks the first major redesign in the G-Class's storied history. Most G-Class owners will agree that the current interior leaves a lot of room for improvement given the restrictions inherent to its militaristic roots. The new model is slightly longer and wider overall, with an ever so slightly raked windshield. Benz knows the G's shape, although a couple of decades younger, is just as iconic as a Porsche 911's. The windshield is the only piece of curved glass on the car, and you really have to look closely to detect its arc. Benz didn't want to mess with a good thing, no matter how much the aerodynamicists pleaded for a non-Lego-ish shape, and from what we could gather during our private preview, it has succeeded. The cabin, of which we can show some images, is modern but also unmistakably g-wagen, with a shallow section dash and a girthy grab handle for the front seat passenger. The instrument panel incorporates the newest Mercedes-Benz infotainment system with redundant touchpad controls on the steering wheel spokes, a central touchpad, and a rotating wheel. The final spec of the U.S.-bound models is still up for discussion, so we may or may not get dual 12.3-inch displays, one of which replaces a conventional analog gauge cluster, as standard. The slightly larger exterior dimensions yield big gains in leg and shoulder room in the front and, more important, in the back seat. Front row occupants used to have to slide their seats forward to accommodate adults, but that's no longer the case. The second row is comfortable for an average-height adult even with the fronts moved all the way back. The added front seat shoulder width 1.5 inches is accentuated by moving around some elements in the cabin, including the adoption of a column-mounted shifter, an electric parking brake, and, what have we here, real cup holders. Rearward visibility is improved by second-row headrests that tuck into a bench that can now recline. Expanding the passenger space did cannibalize some cargo room. Benz would not say how much, but the G-Class has always been a great hauler of things, with a cargo hold that is pretty much a box. Other new elements include a glass sunroof, optional Burmester audio, 3-zone climate control, and a top-load glove box. While the mechanical details will be revealed at the Detroit show, we can confirm that 3 quintessentially G features remain: thumb-activated exterior door latches, an exterior spar tire carrier, and 3 differential lock buttons on the dash. The first 2 of those represent carryover parts numbers, and the other leaves us no doubt that the new G-Class will be just as capable off-road as any that came before. Of course, we're thinking Benz increased the factory-baked four-wheeling capability a bit too. While we won't know that for sure until we drive the new G, we'll be able to show it to you in full in just a few weeks.